Welcome back, everyone, to episode 4 with the 1 Million Project and Vision 1. Now, in this additional video, I want to explain to you the most important things, what they don't tell you, out of my experience. And I've just basically summarized them for you. And I want to start with the upper left one. Scalping doesn't work. Now, that is very controversial because on social media, your biggest influencers, all they do is scalp. And now, while the claim actually isn't even true because scalping does work, I just want to note that you shouldn't focus on scalping. For some people, that might be suited. If you have the time, if you're young, if you have the patience, alright, do it, go for it. But overall, there are many reasons why scalping isn't working as good as swing trading. And one reason is, first of all, for most people, it's just not suitable because most people at some point have a job or have a life, and you will statistically have more opportunities a day, but you will also miss more a day, which could fuck up your emotions and trading behavior. Another reason is the markets are fractal. So what works on a higher time frame could also work on a lower time frame, yes. But the problem is fundamental drivers are very long term. They're not on a minute's chart. And so when news, for example, hit, they have a much bigger impact on smaller time frames because the ratio is much different compared to swing trading or day trading. And so, or even position trading, like letting it run for weeks or months even. So scalping also is a lot more stressful because you have more opportunities, but with that also comes more management, more watching, more waiting. You need more discipline, all of that. And so I think for most people, especially in today's world where attention spans have dropped to historic low levels, which might be in the seconds or even minutes, I don't think that is suited for most people. Also, costs are much higher. So, yeah, commissions, spreads are much higher. If you scalp, you simply pay more. You need to make more to cover the costs, and that is also why brokers, uh, advertise or focus on scalpers because they know statistically that they bring in the most commissions, the most money, and they lose the most of money. So, and also note that volatility. So depending on the pair you're trading, you could be right on the um, you could be right on the direction of the trade. Nevertheless, it could take you out and then continue in the direction because when you're scalping on the minutes chart, for example, you have much more noise because that is just how the markets work. I mean, long term, markets follow a certain target, obviously, and that is driven fundamentally and technically. Mostly from the institutional side, fundamentally, and due to other drivers and numbers and statistics and all of that. So it is normal that on a very low time frame, crazy things could happen because you have just big participants offloading positions that also has certain periods and timings. So this is all true, but again, you could be right on the um, direction, nevertheless lose because you've just put a stop to it's just too much noise and it's very stressful. So this is I've scalped for years and I've actually also made money with it, but for me it's just not as good, as profitable, and I'm completely honest, my personality isn't suited for scalping. Whenever I scalp, I lose money, and this is why I'm so hard on it. You might be different, but take my advice, don't scalp. Now, next point, slow wins the race. Wealth is built slowly and money is made quickly. I've always laughed about this sentence and never really understood it because I thought, well, we live in today's times. We have crypto, we have all these things. Why should I make money slow when I can make it quick? But reality is, again, there's certain rules and systems in place, and it's just so many. There are only so many opportunities a day, a week, a month. And not all of them are perfect. So you might have a plan, you should have a plan, and not all of them will suit your plan. And so you should focus on quality over quantity. And I've once heard one, like a person say, there is no good or bad setup. It's just risk management and discipline. Because it would make the trade subjective. Well, I disagree with this because you have rules for a reason, right? So you have rules because you follow them, and if a trade doesn't meet your criteria, it's a bad setup. So essentially, it's no setup. Like yeah, there's either a good setup, like a setup, or no setup. And a good setup, on the other hand, can also be a trade that fits your criteria of your trading plan, but has extra confirmation on your side. So for example, if you only look at technicals, but now all your technicals on a weekly, daily, 4 hourly, hourly, and even lower, they're all aligned, they all say the same thing, you have a reasonable stop, but also your fundamentals would kick in and also support this, which are very important, but which you would never use before. That, for example, then is a trade that meets your criteria, but a good setup. And you should also focus with slow on asymmetrical risk, meaning a good risk to reward ratio, not a 1-to-1, which is worth the trade and worth the wait and worth your time. So for example, a 1-to-5, if that fits the criteria, man, go for it, because obviously you have to wait a little bit longer for this. And this is another thing that doesn't work on a lower time frame. Yeah, you have much bigger ratios, and this is why people get hooked on it. But it's just not sustainable over the long run, because ask yourself this question. Yeah, you see some people who really made, let's say, 1 million or more with trading in a short period, and like they're really good. It's all fine, it's all cool, but if these big ratios would work sustainable all the time, all of these people would have 10, 20, 100 million by now, because they would simply repeat this over and over again. Why should they stop? Yeah, and never lose and make this money. It's just not working. But if you don't trust me, just try it for yourself. Now, discipline and patience. This for me, even though the other one is highlighted on the upper right side, this for me is the most important thing to master and to manage And I cannot tell you enough how important this is and how important this has been for me. So discipline and patience are the most important skills and habits in this game. And this is a choice, not a gift. Because yeah, some people just have it, but you can and you must learn this. Like, don't freak out, don't get too emotional. There's so many opportunities each and every day. And so discipline and patience are the most important things that you need to have in this game to make it, because for the good setups, especially the swing setups, you just have to wait. And once you're in a trade and it fucks around, it does the opposite, it accumulates, whatever, you had a different expectation. What do you need? Discipline and patience. Discipline to follow your plan, don't fuck it up, and a patience to just sit tight and wait. And that's it. And this is what you get paid for. This is your profession. Now learn it, deal with it. And now the next thing is fuck you money. All of these things are good and very important, but there's another thing which will make all the difference at some point, and this is fuck you money. Meaning, you at some point need some money. It could be 100, 1,000, 10,000, whatever your size is, whatever you can. It doesn't have to be much. And you need to be able to have money where you can play around with, money that you can afford to lose, and money where you can afford to put bigger risk on. Because yes, risk is higher and you could lose it. And then what's the point of making money? So to lose it, no. But you need to risk a lot of money to make a lot of money. Or let me put it this way, you need to risk some money to make more money, right? Because if you don't risk anything, you just generate money with your time, and then you will never get rich. So, or very, very slowly, like, I don't know, invest in Bitcoin and look at it in 10, 20, 30 years, maybe then you're rich. But yeah, fuck you money will make all the difference, because you have a normal account, you might have several normal accounts with normal risk profiles, but then have one or two crazy fuck you money accounts where you can actually put a lot of risk on. And or like another option is use that fuck you money to trade the same thing but actually let it run longer. So for example, if you would take profits at a 1 to 2, but you see potential for price to running to take out another zone, then simply let it run with this account. Why? Because you don't care about this money. It's fuck you money. And this is what at some point will make all the difference, because first of all, you don't care about it. That's first. So you behave differently, because subconsciously you will always care about your accounts, about money. But if you have an account where simply you don't give a fuck, like you could lose it the next hour, okay, you still should apply all the good things that you do with your normal account, discipline, patience, all the things. But nevertheless, there's your chance to actually go big, and that's it.